जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरध्वनचारी यमुना तीरध्वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jai Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jai Subhadra. Jai Gauranitai 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 Shri Shri Gauranitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. युगधाम हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजचार्य श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजचार्य हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय. संवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया. भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So reading from first canto, chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha, text 14. vidyā-tapo-vrata-dharān mukhataḥ sama-viprān brahmātma-tattvam avitum prathamam tvam akṣarāt tad brahmāṇam param sarva-vipatsu pāsi pālaḥ paśūn iva vibho pragṛhīta-daṇḍaḥ. vidyā-tapo-vrata-dharān mukhataḥ viprān brahmātma-tattvam avitum prathamaṁ tam asrāk tad brahmāṇān param sarva-vipatsu pāsi pālaḥ paśūn eva vibho pragṛhīta-daṇḍaḥ vidyā-tapo-vrata-dharān mukhataḥ viprān brahmātma-tattvam avitum prathamam tam asrāk tad brahmān param sarva-vipatsu pāsi pālaḥ paśūn vibho pragṛhīta-daṇḍaḥ vidyā-tapo-vrata-dharān mukhataḥ viprān brahmātma-tattvam vitum pratham asrāk tad brahmāṇam param sarva-vipatsu pāsi pālaḥ paśūn vibho pragṛhīta-daṇḍaḥ. Please recite. Mataji's. Word to word meaning, translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidya, learning. Tapa, austerities. Vrata, vows. Dharān, the followers. Mukhataḥ, from the mouth. Sma, was. Viprān, the brahmanas. Brahmā, Lord Brahma. ātma-tattvam, self-realization. Avitum, to disseminate. Prathamam, first. Tvam, you. Asrāk, created. Tat, therefore. Brahmāṇān, the brahmanas. Param, O great one. Serve all. Vipatsu, in dangers. Pāsi, you protect. Pālaḥ, like the protector. Paśūn, the animals. Eva, like. Vibho, O great one. Pragṛhīta, taking in hand. Danda, a stick. Translation. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow. Just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. Purport. The specific function of a human being in society, irrespective of his social status, is to practice control of the mind and senses by observing the regulative principles enjoined in Vedic Shastras. Lord Shiva is called Pashupati because he protects the living entities in their developed consciousness so that they may follow the Vedic system of Varna and Ashrama. The word Pashu refers to the animal as well as the human entity. It is stated here that Lord Shiva is always interested in protecting the animals and the animalistic living entities who are not very advanced in the spiritual sense. It is also stated that the brahmanas are produced from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. We should always remember that Lord Shiva is being addressed as the representative of Lord Supreme Lord, Vishnu. Jai Shri Gaunitai ki Jai, Shri Mohan ji ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. We continue, it's a long purport. In the Vedic literature, it is described that the brahmanas are born from the mouth of the universal form of Vishnu. The Kshatriyas are born from his arms, the Vaishyas from his abdomen or waist, or the Shudras from his legs. In the formation of a body, the head is the principal factor. The brahmanas are born from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to accept charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. Lord Shiva is known as Pashupati, the protector of the brahmanas and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-brahmanas or uncultured persons who are against the self-realized process. Another feature of this word is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not any more advanced than animals. In the beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered simply a waste of time. Lord Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yajna was to punish Daksha, because by neglecting him, Lord Shiva, Daksha was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a cowherd boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said to give protection to animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. Their reasoning and argument is argumentum ad bachulam. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. Force is required for the animalistic class of men, whereas those who are advanced and convinced by reasons, arguments and scriptural authorities. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals. And Lord Shiva is the charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them as he punished Daksha. Om Agyan Tirmandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadankitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri-rupam sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Sadhudutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Deshetarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So before we start, we like to seek blessings of His guest Sashram Prabhu and all the assembled devotees, so that I can speak in parampara and glorify Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and can speak for my own purification. So it's a very good section which is going on. Yesterday we started the prayers by Daksha, who is accepting his mistake and begging forgiveness from Lord Shiva. Here we can see the last verse and this verse. Tell that last verse he says, Daksha said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me." So it's begging forgiveness and accepting his mistake. Similarly, last chapter, few verses, we have seen that how when all the demigods went to Brahmaji, and the Brahmaji told, "It's your mistake. You have not given sacrifice to Shiva, and therefore better you go and beg forgiveness." So, thinking this is mind, we will discuss something on the topic today on accepting mistakes and begging forgiveness. So it's very important to accept our mistakes. We are going to see that if not and if what are the results. In English there is a famous saying, "To err is human." You might have heard. So when we find in Bhagavatam, we find that not only human commits mistakes. Daksha Prajapati have committed mistake, and there are many kings who have committed mistake. It's a common feature. We can see from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Uttanapad, the father of Dhruva Maharaj. He disrespected Dhruva and then later regretted. Then in 9th canto, famous pastime comes Amrish Maharaj and Durvasha Rishi. So Durvasha Rishi offended Amrish Maharaj. Similarly, we see Gandharvas and then Indra, so many times he commits mistake. And then Shiva, Lord Shiva is in Mohini Murti, just to teach us lesson. So we can say that in this world, everyone commits mistake except Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the one who is free from committing mistake. It has been told that great person is not one who commits mistake. He is the one who learns from his mistakes. So it's become easy, that it's like it happens. It has been told if we use all our skills, all our knowledge and whatever is there, still there are chances of committing 30% of the mistakes. So it's not important that we cannot stop doing mistakes. The important thing is we learn from the mistakes and don't repeat them. That is more important. And it can happen when we are pakka in our devotional service. When we follow the process of devotional service, then it's become easy to practice. So now outside people also commit mistake, but when they commit mistake, they try to hide it. They try their best not to accept it. But on the other hand, in devotee circle, when we come to start practicing devotional service, we learn to accept mistakes and beg forgiveness. I remember one of the yatra, our was a breakfast serving morning time. So one old person came and that day breakfast was poha and the herbal tea. So he came with the plate and told, what is this? It's so hard. I'm not able to chew it. And then I was thinking, he should be grateful morning since 4 o'clock devotees are 3 o'clock devotees cooking and 6 o'clock we are leaving our chanting and serving. And he is complaining. But then another in charge came and told that, oh Prabhuji, it's not poha, it's cornflakes. You are supposed to dip in the tea and eat it. So he handled the situation so nicely that it became easy and that, oh sorry, I was not knowing it. So mistake was done that poha was hard, but how he tackled, he didn't argue, he didn't show as my thought was coming in my mind. That, accept whatever is given. But he accepted his own mistake. He told, it's our mistake. Sorry for it and please tolerate. So, we say in Western world there is a word called sorry, which helps a lot to develop this consciousness. The only thing, one more thing we should add, that after saying sorry, we should not repeat that mistake. We should learn from that mistake. So, how we can accept that it's our mistake? The root is humility. Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanina mandena, kirtinya sadahari. So it becomes very, very easy that if we accept our mistake. If we don't, then we have to suffer a lot. For example, in court also, if somebody gets a punishment, let's say the challan comes, and if he pays it, then it's 100 rupees fine, let's say he pays 100 rupees done. But he file a case against them, counter case. Then if he find guilty, then he has to pay double. It's called as something they call as double justice, something like that. Similarly, we see if we commit a mistake and accept it, then and there problem is solved. But if we don't, then we may speak one jhoot, one lie, and in order to hide that lie, we have to speak many lies. And in this, there is a saying that एक झूठ को छुपाने के लिए 100 झूठ बोलने पड़ते हैं. We have to speak hundreds of lies. And Bhagavatam also we can see. There are some examples which are teaching us, some pastimes in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. They have not accepted mistake and they suffered. One of the famous one is Durvasa and Amrish Maharaj. Durvasa offended Amrish Maharaj. It was not his mistake as such. He could have accepted then and there. But he tried no. And he tried to wander all over the world. To Shivji, to Brahmaji, to Vishnu Loka also. 1 year he was wandering throughout the world. And finally he has to come and accept his mistake and beg forgiveness from Amrish Maharaj. He could have done it without suffering for 1 year. Another example of Dhritarashtra, who offended Pandavas, who never accepted that he is doing wrong. He is taking side of Duryodhana, which is wrong. So many people suggested him. But he was always thinking, no, I am right only. He never accepted his mistake. And he suffered. So accepting mistake also means that we have to act. We have to act on it. Another example we can see during the marriage of Aniruddha. Balramji was playing dice with Rukmi. So first Rukmi won, but later on Balramji won. And then next match again Balramji won, but Rukmi was laughing. He never accepted his defeat. And what happened finally? He was killed only. Such a great son. Similarly for King Vena, he was abusing citizens. And he never accepted his mistake. And finally, Brahmana has to kill him. So there are some personalities from where we can learn. They never accepted mistake and have suffered. So the question may come that what stops to accept mistakes? Why we cannot accept mistakes? We know, that we have done some mistake, but still our false ego doesn't allow us to accept the mistakes. That's the very first reason. So because of our false ego, it becomes very difficult to say sorry. Inside we may be thinking, that yes, I have done wrong, but we try to hide it. We try to come in, like one of the example comes of, one of the pastime comes of Pundrak. He was knowing that he was not Supreme Lord, but in presence of Krishna only, he was showing himself as Supreme Lord. And he told Krishna, give your chakra and 2 hands. He put 2 more hands, artificial hands, and trying to show himself as Krishna. So what then Krishna told, oh, you are Krishna, okay, then please hold this chakra. And then he couldn't hold and left the body. So false ego is one of the reason or pride we can say, Second reason is we try to be over smart. We want to try to cover the mistake what we have done. Like very common things we do in general. We can have a number of examples. We can see something wrong happens. The first thing we deny. Oh no, I have not done it. It's not me. And then we argue that how it happened. No, somebody, or we blame someone else because of him that happened. Or some of the reasons we give. So we can go in that reason zone. So we don't want to accept that because we want to cover it. Sometimes we commit mistake because of ignorance. That's the third reason it may be. That we are not aware of the situation and then we may commit mistake. And the fourth reason we can see is we may commit mistake because of some power or position. Where when somebody gets power and position, then it becomes very difficult at that position to accept that I have done some mistake. It's like kind of natural thing. But we can learn, we are very fortunate here in Hyderabad, we have, His Grace Anandmay Prabhu, His Grace Vishwakirti Prabhu, who are practicing for so many years in such high position, but still they are so humble. So they are the living example in front of us, who have shown many times that they are beyond the post and position. They are so humble. And one more reason which we could think is of fear of punishment. Because of fear of punishment, we know that if I accept the mistake, I will be punished. So better to deny that, no, I have not done it. Somebody else have done it. So criminals also, many times they know they have done wrong, but they don't accept. Why? Because they know if they accept, they will punish. So all that's very easy to say all these things, but it's very deep concept and very, very difficult to apply. So please pray that I can also apply all these things in my life. And Srila Prabhupada also writes, like in this purport, Prabhupada writes that, there's like a cowherd man takes a stick to train cow. Similarly, we should train, but at our level, we should accept the mistakes. Whatever, and last purport, Prabhupada writes that getting punishment is also good. It may be very difficult, but if we get punishment, then we suffer in this life only, instead of suffering in the future lives. So, accepting punishment is good. Instead of fearing of punishment, we can understand that if we accept punishment, it is for my betterment, it's good for me. So now we will see some examples from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam where some personalities have accepted punishment. Not only they have accepted punishment, they accepted it very gracefully, very gratefully. One of the example comes of Sukanya. So along with her father, when she went to forest, she happened to pinch the holes in the mountain. She was not knowing the red light was coming. And it happened to be eyes of Chavan Rishi. And then everyone started suffering. They are not able to pass, or anything. Then king told somebody has done some mistake. And immediately Sukanya accepted it. That is my mistake. And then the father and the daughter went to the sage. And sage saw the beauty of the girl and she told, I want to marry. That's a kind of punishment. And then she accepted it gracefully. She didn't told, no, itna bada punishment, by mistake I have pierced the, I was not knowing it's your eyes. But she accepted it gracefully. And then later we know that how that he got his old age back, although he was very old. So he accepted it. Next example from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam we can see is of Chitraketu Maharaj. He was glorifying, as Prabhupada writes that he was just laughing. He is not laughing to make fun of Shiva. He was just glorifying that how he is giving lectures, although Parvati Mata is sitting on his lap. And when Mother Parvati gave curse, he accepted it. He could have argued, he could have explained, give some justification or something. But no, he just accepted it gratefully. And what happened? Then he advanced. Now his name is then Bhagavatam. We discuss, we learn lessons, so many lessons from him. Another example where the whole Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj. When he went, Prabhupada writes in the purpose, many purposes he writes that it's not mistake of Parikshit Maharaj, the will of the Lord. He has seen the Lord in the womb. So he is a great devotee of the Lord. But because it was the will of the Lord, it so happened. And he was fully qualified to counter-react to the curse he got. And sages also want him to counter-react so that, because they want a king to rule the kingdom. But he accepted. Not only accepted, when he was going back, he accepted he has done a mistake, and also he told that I deserve a punishment. I should get some punishment because I have done a mistake. So these are some of the lessons we can learn, from that very high level, but at least we can pray that one day we can come to that level. So how do these devotees can do it? I feel one of the reason is humility. They are so deep in their devotional service, practice of devotional service, they are so humble that they could accept the mistake. So that then a bhav, which is one of the quality of the devotional service. It is told that humility means I am very insignificant and God is great. I am very fallen. I don't deserve anything. I am completely dependent on the Lord's mercy. Whatever is coming as it's a Lord's mercy. So when we are in that mood, that I am fallen, I don't deserve. So whatever happens with us, if we commit some mistake also, we accept it. We are ready to face the problem or the punishment. So what we understand that when we feel that I am wrong, it's become easy to practice devotional service. On the other hand, if we consider that I am not wrong, oh yeah, everyone is doing, I have also done it. Then we divert from the devotional practice. In chanting also that thought comes. So our practice becomes low. We can not able to chant attentively. All our energy goes in that direction. Oh, I have done that mistake. Somebody caught me. What will happen? Or this has happened. How I can commit? So we can see that if we are not accepting our mistake of begging forgiveness, too much energy goes in that direction instead of going in devotional service. We get carried away by that, and that we get in the argument, in the proving zone that I am right. This is what is like that only. There is no mistake of mine. But the lesson what we are trying to learn is better to accept the mistake and continue our devotional service. So how to accept mistake and how to beg forgiveness? So best way is, as told, that how to accept mistake by being humble, and how to beg forgiveness. Directly we can go to that devotee and beg forgiveness. At max, what will happen? He will is not. He may slap us. We might have done many mistakes in future, for which we are not got the punishment. So we can consider, okay, I got punishment for that mistake. Anyhow, devotees are not going to slap us. They may shout on us or sometime, but temporary some punishment we will get. So better to directly beg forgiveness. If not, then we can serve those Vaishnavas. We can try to serve those Vaishnavas whatever way it's possible. And now if we are serving that Vaishnava, we are begging forgiveness, but still is not forgiving, then if nothing is happening, then ultimately we can take shelter of the holy name. But that's the third solution. The first two are directly beg forgiveness or serve that Vaishnava. Because if we think that, okay, I have done some mistake, I will not reveal to anyone, I will keep chanting. By chanting, that offense will be overcome. No, that will be the seventh offense. Committing sinful activities on the name of the strength of the holy name. So we should be very careful that we should not go in the seventh offense zone. We are saying that we directly beg forgiveness or we serve that Vaishnava, and after that nothing happens, then we can take shelter of the holy name. And there are very many benefits of begging forgiveness. Very first thing, that we get compassion and mercy. Like we can see from the example of Nal, Kuver and Madigriv. They accepted when Narad Muni came, they accepted their mistake. Because they accepted the mistake, Narad Muni showed the compassion on them, and then they got a opportunity to take darshan of Lord Krishna. They saw all the childhood pastimes of Krishna, just because they accepted their mistake. Not only we, others get inspired when we accept our mistake. They think, okay, somebody is setting the right example in front of us. There are some thoughts we thought on this theme which is going on accepting mistakes and begging forgiveness. So when we beg forgiveness, we get free from the anxiety. Already there are so many anxieties. We can take anxiety for preaching and other services instead of our own anarthas. Today is also appearance day of Shiva's Thakur. There are some of the lessons we can drive in this direction only. We all know that Shiva's Pandit is one of the members of Panchatattva. We chant Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shiva's Adi, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So Shiva's Pandit is incarnation of the Narad Muni. So we know that at his house, Shiva's Agan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the Sankirtan movement. Not only daytime, they are chanting whole night. They told, why to waste night time? Let us chant whole night also. And then Shiva used to close the door so that outside person doesn't come. But there are some people who are envious of Lord and the devotees. So they were doubting that what they are doing inside. And because of their envy, they are planning different ways to defame Shiva's Thakur. And one of the leader of the envious people was Gopal Chappal. So one day, Gopal Chappal kept, the paraphernalia, what was used to worship Durga Devi, with agarbatti and other thing, along with a jug of wine in front of their house. And then morning, when Sankirtan got over, when she was opened the door of the house, he saw there is a paraphernalia. And this time what he did? He accepted the mistake. Although he has not committed any mistake, still he told, no, see, all gentlemen nearby, please come and see what we are doing whole night. We are worshipping Durga. And when he accepted it, all people understood nearby. Oh, no, they are not like that. It's somebody's plan. Somebody is trying to cheat them. Therefore, somebody else has kept a jug of wine and all other paraphernalia to worship Durga. We know that you all are doing Sankirtan. You have not done that mistake. And just in 3 days, what happened to Gopal Chappal? He got leprosy. And all the wounds came on his body. So he understood, because he have offended Shiva's Thakur, he got this curse and he got this disease. So then he went, later we see that he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and asked back forgiveness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, no, because you offended my devotee. I will not. For millions of life you will suffer with this disease of leprosy. But he accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he went to Shiva's Thakur. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you want to get mercy, then you go to Shiva's Thakur. And Shiva's Thakur was so compassionate, so merciful. He didn't got any second thought. He immediately told, yes, you have not done any mistake. And then immediately he got rid from his disease. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had faith on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he begged forgiveness. He got released from his disease. So that's one lesson we can learn in the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are many. Another one we know that once secretly Shiva's Thakur brings a brahmachari, milk drinking brahmachari, very famous pastime, for the Sankirtan. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood there is something wrong. Someone who is not supposed to be here is there in the room. And she was told that there is no non-devotee. Everyone is devotee in this house. There is no non-devotee here. Everyone is bhakta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, someone is there. And then Shiva's Thakur brought that milk drinking brahmachari who has done the austerity of drinking just milk, nothing else. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry. He told, what do you think? Just by drinking milk, one can achieve love of Godhead? And then immediately he threw him out. The milk drinking brahmachari was asked to move out of the house. But in the heart he was thinking, oh, I'm so grateful. I got a chance, I got an opportunity to take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that Sankirtan. And because he was grateful, then he was allowed. So that's another pastime. Because he accepted, he didn't thought that, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is shouting, I'm drinking milk, don't know who am I. He was humble, he showed his humility. He didn't, argued that I'm a milk drinking brahmachari, I'll only drink milk. He didn't argue. And then another time, when Sankirtan was going on, one day it so happened that there's some calamity happened. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood. He told, I think something wrong happened. Some great calamity happened in this house. And she was told, nobody disturbed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again asked, and then she was told that my son only have died. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was surprised that how it's possible. Why didn't you inform me? So inside the Malati Mata, the wife of Shiva's Thakur, she was crying, others were crying, and Shiva's Thakur, told that don't disturb the Sankirtan. It should go on. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt so much, what a kind of devotion you are having, Shivas, that your son has died and you have not disturbed me. You didn't stop me, you could have informed. And immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to that room where the sunlight was lying. And he touched the son on the heart and asked, why you are leaving Shiva's Thakur? And then the soul replied, that I am following your order. You are told in Bhagavad Gita, Deho esmin yatha dehe kumaram yovanam. We pass from one body to another. I was supposed to in this body for this many years only. And now I am moving to another body according to my karma. And as per your wish. And then because he spoke this knowledge, everyone came in knowledge, so all their lamentation went away. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told amazing thing that time to Malati Mata and Shiva's Thakur, that although you have lost one son, but now you got two sons. myself and Nityanand Prabhu. So although because of their devotion, they lost one son, but they got two eternal sons, Gaur and Nitai. Another time when Srivas Thakur was continuing his household activities, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know that Srivas Thakur doesn't earn anything. He was just doing kirtan. He was completely dependent on Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, better you take sannyas. You are living like a sannyasi only, and you are not earning and completely doing devotional service. He told, no, I am very much afraid of taking sannyas. I will not take sannyas. Hare, you are not taking sannyas, you are having family. How will you manage your family? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Srivas Thakur, and he told that I am completely dependent on Lord. If Lord wish, He will provide all the facilities. Why have to worry? And then told, if in case it so happened that you didn't get food, then Srivas Thakur told, if I don't get, then I'll clap. 1, 2, 3. What does this mean? Just clap 1, 2, 3. And if the food doesn't come, that things what are required for devotional service doesn't come, I'll tie a stone on my neck and drown in Ganges. I'm doing for Krishna. So whatever Krishna wants, and He will fulfill. Ye yathamam prapadante. I'm surrendering to Him, He should fulfill. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, Srivas is not going to have any time. You need not to clap only. Whatever is required, I'll personally fulfill that. I promise in Bhagavad Gita, sarva-vipatsu prateja maam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva-papebhyo mokshayami ma sucha. Don't worry, you need not to fear. I'll fulfill all your desires. Whatever is required, that will be fulfilled. There are many more pastimes of Srivas Thakur. But we can pray today that we can get this kind of faith as Srivas Thakur was having on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, we worried about our food, our own things, but we can learn how Srivas was completely dependent. And we can see the day we came from ISKCON, since then we need not to worry for anything. It's just mental anxiety, but everything is arranged by the Lord. One Srila Prabhupada disciple, he was telling in the lecture that, now what a wonderful movement it is. You have to just dance, chant, feast, and preach. That's all. Eating, dancing, and feasting. And there is no anxiety. Yeah, there is one anxiety sometimes we get. When everyone was surprised, what is the anxiety? And he told the anxiety is, we eat too much. So much is provided in ISKCON that we eat so much. And we are obliged to eat sometime. So that's the only anxiety. Otherwise, Krishna consciousness is such a wonderful movement that we can continue throughout the life after life. Eternally we can continue just by chanting, dancing and feasting. That's all. So today on this auspicious day, on the appearance day of Srivas Thakur, we can pray to Srivas Thakur that we can also get that kind of faith and serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with our full heart. Srivas Pandit ki, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So please pray for me also that I can follow in my life. I spoke whatever I spoke. I found it very helpful for me. I'm very, very far from all these things, but at least I'll try to follow these things. By your prayers and blessings, I can follow it. Thank you very much.